In this last installment with Sean, you'll see the personification of what is often called servant leadership. You'll hear about special events, meaningful memorabilia, and you'll hear Sean's final advice for dealers, which he delivers, as he often does, with a great personal anecdote. If you like the other episodes, you're going to love this one. Yeah. Well, so let's talk about people. All of the folks that work with you that I have ever encountered and that have commented about you mention you being one of the greatest leaders that they have ever worked with. So, how do you go about acquiring talent? How do you go about selecting team members? How do you win this war for talent that's going on right now in business?
Well, first of all, I just say thank you because I don't think of myself that way at all. I think, like, sorry, I got a little choked up by that, but um, you know, no, I don't. I don't think of myself that way at all, really. And we have to cut this part out. But I think, what I think, about leadership is, you know, hmm, I guess I never really think of myself as that great of a leader. I always think that I could get better. I think about my kids and I think I could be better at it. And I think about some of the mistakes I made in leadership. Those are the ones that probably get me the worst. When I wasn't such a great leader, I don't think I was for a while. I think I was really self-absorbed. I think I was very ambitious, sometimes at the point of other people's feelings. And I think over time, I've changed that, hopefully. And I think, gosh, it's a tough one because, again, I don't think of myself that way. I think always like I could do a lot better. But, you mentioned people, and I learned this from Scott, and I thoroughly believe you got to surround yourself with good people. And I think I have great people that I'm around and work with and for and all about. And leadership is a process. We train on it all the time. I know it's funny that you train on leadership, but we train on it all the time. We train.
I'd like to ask you about some of the things that we are seeing in your background right now. What can you tell me about that guitar hanging on the wall?
Well, that's the one from Jesse James from Jackal. We're doing the Rolling Sturgis promotion, and everybody loves it. And we're giving it away actually on July 3rd. So that should be fun. And then the flag behind me is something that comes up a lot. And that's it's from Camp Leatherneck in Afghanistan. And it was given to me by a customer. Wow. And he presented it to me at an event, and it's signed by the service members that were there, men and women that were there. And I really appreciate it. I had it framed, and I love that. I think about maybe some of those folks aren't with us anymore.
Right.
I think about their signatures up there, and so it's important to me. We do a lot of charitable events at the store. We do a lot, which I know a lot of Harley stores do it, but it's a real passion for us, and we're in a town with a big base, Air Force base here, and so we want to be involved. We do a huge ride every year with the Marine Corps, and so we try to support our military and our men and women in the military, and it's just stuff like that happens.
What a great keepsake. Yeah,
it's really great. I love it. And, anyway, that's a couple of things.
Meaningful. Sean, I've really enjoyed our conversations. If you had 2 or 3 final pieces of advice that you would like to share with your fellow power sports dealers, what would those 2 or 3 pieces of advice be?
Well, you mentioned digital lead performance, and it's my chance to have a commercial because, look, I got to tell you something. If I could give any advice, is you got to get on the digital. I'll tell another story, and then this is kind of how we started talking about it. I was at a party for my son, like a bunch of parents got together, and I don't know, it was baseball or something, I don't know. But all these guys are sitting around the table. And one guy was an attorney, and one guy, all these big things. I don't know what the hell I was doing there, but I'm sitting there, and of course it comes to me. And what do? I work at the Harley store, and whoa, there you go. It just explodes. Oh, I've always wanted a Harley. And so they got to talking though about how they purchased their cars. So one guy had a Tesla, one guy had a Land Rover, one guy had a Mercedes, one guy had a BMW, and I have a Jeep. So it's kind of funny. I'm not really the same. Wasn't in the same spectrum.
We're going with a high crowd, right?
Yeah. So so we just started talking about it, and they all said the same thing, which is how kind of we got thinking about it. Is I love going to the dealership to pick up the vehicle, and one guy was actually at a golf outing and won a golf bag, and had to go to the dealership to get it, but to get it you had to do a test drive. So he got there and he goes, they treated me like a jerk. And he goes, I couldn't believe it. He goes, I was coming in to get my golf bag that they had offered me. I'm driving a 100,000 mile Range Rover, and I'm in another high-end store. He goes, I really wanted a wagon. He goes, and I walked in, I was all set. He goes, I was all set to take it for a ride, and if they had it, I'd buy it. And, this kind of guy that could do that.
Yeah.
And he goes, I walked in, he goes, and they treated me like I was there, like trying to get over on them for the bag. And he goes, I just laughed. He goes, but that's what happens when you go in the stores. The salesmen kind of treat you kind of weird. So the other guy said, well, I bought a Tesla and it wasn't like that. I did it all online. It's great. And they delivered it to my house and all this stuff. And boy, you're sitting back going, this is different. And then another guy goes, you know what? I did most of my thing online. And then I went to the store and I picked up, and I like that because I like to have a point of contact. I like going to the store. So you have 3 different experiences. But at the end of the day, all I could think to myself was, well, how do I like to buy? How do I like to buy? So if I could do as much before I get to a dealership as I can, but yet when I get there, it's a great experience. So, that led us really to talk about what does it look like to walk into a store when I already have approval, when I already know what I want, 97% of all people start shopping online. A lot of people fill out credit apps before they come in the store, but guess what? So many dealers don't want to tell them that they're approved or not approved. They just want them to come in. Right. Well, if I drove, like in Albuquerque, we have people that drive 5-6 hours to get here. If I drove 5 or 6 hours and I got there and you told me I wasn't approved, after I had filled out a credit app, I'd blow up the store. You gotta drive 5 hours back. It's 10 hours of driving for you to tell me I didn't get approved. Right. That's just not right to do to people. So then the other side of it is, if I'm a guy like these guys were there and they got high credit and they don't want to wait around, and boom, they show up. We have parking for them. They come in, the bike's waiting for them in a spot. It's backed in, it's covered so that it's not hot. The seat's not hot. It's filled with fuel. Yeah. And boom, there's a big appointment board with their name on it. Right. Welcome, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones Mr. Jones, I know you're already approved. We're not there yet. Let's make sure we take the bike for a ride. So they go for a quick test ride. They love the bike. They love this. They go on they come inside. I heard someone say, there's never a time that someone's hotter than when they get off a demo. It might have been you. It might have been you. And I remember thinking that. So when they get off a demo ride, they bring them right to the desk. They have everything ready. Maybe they need proof of income. Whatever, I don't know. It's irrelevant, but bring it with you so you don't have to go home 5 hours and get it. Right. So they come in, they're all prepared. We're prepared and they're prepared. We're prepared for their appointment. They're prepared to buy. They come in, they sit down, we show them a menu. We present a menu right at that time. Right. We show them a menu. We go through it with them. We show them all the options that they have. And you know what? They pick their options and great. Let's go on a dealer tour. Let's take them on a tour. We show them around just like they were any other customer. We show them around. We get them excited. We give them all their gifts. They get a great delivery on the motorcycle and they get to go into the finance office. And guess what? If they didn't buy some finance products, we present it again. So we're going to tell them, hey, you didn't get this warranty, but we feel passionate. You should have it because here's why. So all these things that go along with it, they come in and it takes so much less time. Right. Maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And they're on their bike, they're riding away, and they're happy. And, it's all about the end user. It's all about the customer. Yeah. Let's go the opposite direction. We don't tell them they're approved. We tell them this. I don't know what your deal is. Imagine you show up at a store, they don't even know you're coming. Right. Or they know you were coming, but the bike's dirty.
Right.
And look, we've had that happen. It used to happen. And the bike is 30. It's not fueled up. Now I got to go fuel it up. I'm standing outside in the hot sun. Sorry, I get excited about
Yeah, no, you should.
But
Absolutely.
Because, again, you act like you don't even know they have an appointment. I love that in service. When they don't even know you have an appointment. Well, why did I set an appointment if you don't even know I have an appointment?
Right.
It's so embarrassing.
Right.
So they show up, you got all this stuff ready. The opposite, they don't have it ready. What do you think the customer path's going to be like? What do you think it's going to go? You think the person's going to be upset, give you a bad CXI? Probably. I would. So, I just tell dealers to think about it from the end user. If you're that guy or girl, be ready for them. Be ready and be tuned in and talk to them on that call like they're people. Get to know them.
Right.
Why did they start? Right? All the same things you do in person, you can do via the internet, and so why not think about that? Why not contemplate that? Why not make it a better experience for the customer so that the end user, and, I mentioned a commercial. We do DLP, digital lead performance. And boy, it's amazing what we provide, not only lead follow-up, but just this kind of discussion about how does your store look? How does it set up? How are your salesmen?
Right.
I love that. One last thing. I love the dealers that give out those digital leads to the worst salesman that they got. And they go, I hand them out equally. And every salesman ain't equal. And those leads ain't equal.
Yeah.
If I got an 800 beacon and he's coming in, he ain't the same as somebody else. So, why are you treating them like that? Why would you treat a lead like that? And look, I'm not saying the 450 isn't important, but the 450 can come in on Tuesday and we can work 5 hours.
Yes.
To get co-signers and proof of this and proof of that, which is what it takes. Don't bring them in on a Saturday morning.
1:00 Saturday afternoon, right?
Yeah, don't bring them in Friday at 5 when we're slamming jamming. So these are all things you can then control. Plus that 450 beacon that's challenge credit wise. Now he has a great experience. Man,
yes.
Look at these guys. They're working with me. They're getting me done. They're putting the effort in on a Tuesday. What the heck else are we doing Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon?
Right.
So these are all things that if you have a process around it, you can actually enhance the customer experience. You can make it better, and you don't have to be scared of it. And I see so many people are just scared of it, and they think they can continue to do it the old way. They can continue to hand those leads to guys that have been with you 3 days, and no, they never follow up more than one time, or maybe they follow up twice. And I've called dealers, I've shocked dealers about this. And, did you meet the guy was, talk to you for 5 minutes, you never hear from him again. Did they try to set an appointment? Did they remind you of the appointment? Did they tell you where to park? Did they tell you directions to the store? Did they tell you what to bring? And all those things happen when you have a great process. So if I could say one thing is, think differently about it. Think differently about digital. Think differently about it. Now, does that change anything from the front door? Absolutely not. Do you still have to do a great job of customers walking in and greet them and say hello and thank them for their business when they're leaving? Nothing changes there. Nothing changes. It's just that people are shopping differently. So we have to think differently. Now, it doesn't mean we have to be Amazon. It doesn't mean that we have to do everything, we have to deliver it and all that stuff. But, there's times when, customer does need a delivery and he's in to carry, or he's in, and maybe it's, they have something going on in their life that needs that. And could it happen? Yeah. Does it happen often? No. So all I'm saying is don't be scared of the little things that could happen. Be looking at the bigger picture. And, I remember a guy in a 20 club, Tyler Steimel, who runs Central Texas, Harley Davidson now, great guy. He said, it's amazing how we adjust our processes for the 1 out of 10 people rather than the 9 out of 10 people.
Right.
So I always remember that so clearly, because that's so true that, we're making adjustments. So, just because one customer had something weird happen doesn't mean we should adjust it for the other 10 people, or 9 people. Let's understand what happened and fix it, but let's try to understand it a little bit different and don't overreact and then make something go away. And I think just dealers are a little bit frightened of the unknown, frightened of what digital is going to bring. And, we have digital lead performance that help you It's something that I'm so passionate about, just our business in general.
Yeah.
But I'm a customer. I'm a digital lead customer. I pay a lot. I get a lot of leads. I get a lot of digital leads. And lastly, and I know I'm talking a lot. You get me on this topic. It's one of my passions, man. You know, just because dealers and maybe some other folks think, well, if I could just get more leads, that doesn't. It's like getting more greets. You know, just because more people come to your store on a Saturday when you have a band doesn't mean you can handle them better, because you only still have 4 salesmen and you needed 8. You know, so just because you get more leads isn't going to necessarily make you better. Now, I understand law of math is if you're doing closing 3% of those leads, it's still 3%. But you know, I actually think that before you do that, you should have this process in place. Because when you do up your leads, like I get upwards of 500 leads a month. When you up your leads to that point, you really got to be ready to deal with it. So on the other hand, what if I only got 100 leads? Well, maybe now if I'm closing at 8%, what if I closed at 15%? You know, it's 7 more deals. Well, 7 more deals, a lot more deals. So maybe I just got to do a little bit better with those 100 that I got. I don't have to spend any more money. I just got to do a little bit better. Now, when I get really good and I get to 15 and I have 15%, now I say, oh, what if I got 200 leads?
Yes.
I get 30 bites because I'm good at it, you know. And now, well, Sean, what if I got 300 leads? Well, okay, now I maybe get 45. Now, I find that the higher your leads go, the less your conversion rate goes. So maybe you're not at 15, but you're at 12. So I'll take 12 of 400 rather than 8 of 100 or 8 of 400. So I think if you just think of it, you know, a little bit at a time. You know, I just hear a lot of deals. I want more leads. I want more leads. I want more leads. I said, well, I can get you more leads. I mean, we can tell you how to get more leads. But before you get more leads, what are you doing with the leads you got? And you're giving them a great experience of the people that you got. So if you are, great. Now let's turn up your leads. Now let's get you more leads.
Right.
And
right.
Harley's doing some great, I mean, so exciting stuff. But you know, let's get ready for that to happen. Let's be ready for that as a dealer to
get organized to play the game.
Yep.
Got to get organized to play the game. Sean, I have enjoyed our conversations thoroughly.
Thanks, Mark. I really do too, man. I was excited to do this with you. You've been a longtime friend and a great person to have around in our lives. And you've trained our people and you've done a great job. And I can't tell you how many people we've sent to your class and how many have come back. They always say the same thing, like, well, that Mark Rodgers, man, he's the best. So, you know, we send a lot of people to your training and they love it. And so thanks for all that. And thanks for all you do.
While some have grown jaded and cynical, 2 decades in, Sean is still excited and enthusiastic about this business. And I think that is very cool. You know, Sean has the unique ability to understand and use what are known as the 3 positions of communication. First, he's able to analyze what he is thinking and feeling. Second, he's able to see things from the other person's perspective. But the third, and this is very unique, is he can see things from the balcony, meaning he can objectively rise above, see everyone's involvement, and objectively analyze that. Sean has demonstrated vulnerability, passion, expertise, and the combination of those elements put him truly at the top of his game. So now, take his advice and start your climb to the top. Until next time, go be great, will ya?